Hey everyone, Jolt here. I am super excited about today's video and about Excalidraw Obsidian 1.9.5. This is going to blow your mind. Let me show you. The 1.9.5 release is all about frames. Let me show you first the one that's easier to demonstrate and that was added to Obsidian by the Excalidraw product team a couple of days ago. If you click here under More Tools, you will see the Frame tool. If you click on the Frame tool, you can simply frame a number of elements, and once these elements are framed, you can move those frames together and you can do all sorts of settings on the frame. For example, you can change the opacity of the frame, or you can bring frames back and forth. You can also simply move items out of the frame or into the frame, as well as with a right click you can remove all elements in the frame or select all elements in the frame, or just simply delete the entire frame. I'm going to do that now. So now let's move on to the truly exciting stuff. You will notice that there's a new button here. This is the Insert Any File from the Vault button. If I click this, then this dialog box will open up. I can just type in the name of the document, secure enough. I can select which section I want to open, trust no one, and I can click here to import it as an iframe. And when I do that, then an iframe is created. If I click here, then I can scroll in the document, and if I click again, then I can edit the document. Right now, when I edit, the document scrolls to the beginning. This is a known issue. I have a promise from the Obsidian team that this is going to be resolved. Now, of course, you can also resize this if you want. You can even rotate it if you want. Now, if you rotate, you can read the document, but you cannot edit the document when rotated. So to rotate it back, you need to hold the Shift key and rotate it to a horizontal position. You can also do some settings if you like. You can add a stroke color maybe around this, and you can make the corners round if you want, and this way I've formatted my document and I can put this to the side. Now if I use the command palette now and type in any, then you will see I have this action as well, so you can assign a hotkey for yourself. I will click Insert Any File from the Vault, and I'm going to look for a PDF file, how to read a paragraph. I'm going to press enter. Again, you will notice that previously as well there were two buttons, so still you can also import a Markdown file as an image, and also with a PDF document you can import it as a PDF, which will have all its great features. I'll include a link here in the video that explains how the PDF import feature works, because I think that's also super useful. But now I'm going to show you how to import this as an iframe. So when I click here to import it as an iframe, then now it's not a big surprise. It is going to be very similar. So if I click here, I can scroll in the document, and this is, I think, pretty good, works very well. Now, I think the fun stuff starts here, so let me again bring up the Insert Any File from the Vault, and let's look at our demo Kanban board. So you can also import an Obsidian Kanban board, and I'm going to import this as an iframe, and this time I'm going to make this just slightly bigger. I'm going to maybe move down to here. And the nice thing is that this Kanban board is actually fully functional. So if I click here, I can move maybe this card to here. I can move this card to here. And with this, I'm able to edit my Kanban board on the fly here within Obsidian. And similarly, I can show you that also from your Vault, you can import any other file. I didn't try that many things, but I tried MP4s, so I don't have many videos in my demo vault. This is from an old blog post, but again, if I import this as an iframe, then you will see it is not perfect, so the size of the frame is not perfect, but I can click here and start playing, and now this video is playing in the background. And again, I can just set the border color to whatever I want, or the border, and also the border color if I want to change it. So this is now here and nice. Now the color, the background color or the theme of the documents that you import will depend on your Excalidraw theme. So right now I'm using Excalidraw in light mode. If I switch to dark mode, then you will see that all of the documents and everything was now turned to the dark theme. Also, you can control this. So if regardless of the theme of a document, you would rather follow the theme of Obsidian, there is a setting in Excalidraw plugin settings under display, and here under display you can change this, that iframes should match the Obsidian theme. So if I turn this off and come back, then everything is going to be dark, but the background is going to be light because this is my Excalidraw theme. Now also, you can override this on a file level. You need to open the document in Markdown mode, and you can add a formatter key to control how the frames are displayed. So in this case, I'm going to open the drawing as a Markdown document, and here in the formatter I'm going to type Excalidraw iframe, and you can see there are 4 values you can set this to: dark, light, auto, and default. Default means it follows your Obsidian theme. Auto is automatically adjusted to the Excalidraw theme, and if I set this to light as fixed, so I'm going to set this to light, then regardless of my plugin settings, the frames are going to be loaded with light themes. So now let's look at also drag and drop, because drag and drop also works. So I'm going to just take this document right here and I'm going to drop it here. But before I drop it, notice the tooltip there. It says insert link, and try Shift Control Alt combinations to find out the drop actions. On Windows, you need to press Control Shift to insert something as an iframe. So now I'm holding the mouse button, I'm dragging this file, and as I'm dragging it, when I'm over the Excalidraw area where I want to drop it, I press Control Shift and I let go the mouse button, and then my document is imported like this. Now I can also show you the key combination. So you will find this table in the Excalidraw README. I'll show you in just 1 second where that is. But here you can see that there are 2 new key combinations. So combination number 1 is when you're dragging and dropping a file from within Obsidian, and here I just showed you that on Windows it's Control Shift, on a Mac it's the Control button, and then it will drop it as an iframe. And when we drop this from the internet, then it's Control Shift and Control Shift on both Mac and Windows. I'll show you in just a second how that works. And as I promised, so this table is available in the Excalidraw README. You will find the Excalidraw README if you open Settings, you go to Community Plugins, you search for Excalidraw here, and you click on Excalidraw. Then this will open the README, and if you scroll down in the README, you will find this table right here. So anytime you need to get back to this, you will find it here. So getting back to our story, I'm going to minimize this. So let's look at some of the web drag and drops. So let's start with this example that I have a YouTube video that I want to bring in here. So I'm going to grab the YouTube video and I'm going to just move it over Excalidraw, and then I'm going to press Ctrl Shift to drop it in here, and with that the video is in. And of course, as you would expect, if you click the center, it's going to start playing, and you can see it has a thick border, which means that the video is active. So you can now move in the video. If I click anywhere out, then the video is no longer, the video is playing, but it's no longer active. So you can resize it if you want, or do any other transformations. Maybe you can rotate this as well. If you click the center again, then it will stop. And if you click it again, then it will continue. So this, I think, is pretty useful when you're taking notes on a video in Excalidraw and you just want to start and stop the video. Now, moving on from a video, let me show you how this works with a Twitter tweet. So for example, I want to bring this tweet into my document. I can click here to share the tweet. I can copy the link to the tweet, and I can come here and I can just simply paste the tweet. And when I paste the tweet, so I selected paste, then the tweet was imported and I can interact with the tweet. I can also again enlarge the tweet if I want to. So this becomes here another interactive document. And also I can bring in web pages. So let me just show you another way to do this. Now this is going to be the Obsidian web page. So I can just simply drag the web page, Ctrl Shift, and I can drop the web page in here. And now I have the Obsidian web page here. I think a cool feature, and it's sort of the consequence of being able to embed, and this will only work in Obsidian Desktop this way. In Obsidian Mobile, I think the full feature will not be available, but let me show you what I mean. So you can also use applications that need an identity. So this is my Chat GPT account, and what I want to do or show you is a new feature in Chat GPT is you can share a chat. So I'm going to copy the link to this chat. And once I've copied the link to the chat, I'm going to now use the Web-Embed feature. This is, I could just simply paste the link here as I did in the other cases. I just want to show you another way of creating a frame. So I can click here on Web-Embed. I can create an empty embed form, and I'm just going to simply paste the link here that I picked up from Chat GPT, and when I press enter, then this dialog is imported. So you can see here that this is my discussion with Chat GPT, and if I click here to continue conversation, then I can actually continue my conversation. So imagine the use case that you're doing some research, you insert your Chat GPT conversation here, you do a mind map around it, and whenever you have additional questions, you can just continue that conversation, and that conversation is going to be saved here with your drawing. Another example would be, and this is I think just for the fun of it, but there's also a cool additional feature that I'll talk about in a next video that you can do with this. But here, if I create another web frame, and now I'm going to just simply type excalidraw.com, then what you will see here is this is now a web instance of Excalidraw that was imported, and actually if I click here, then this instance is going to work just as your normal web instance of Excalidraw would, so you can actually have an embedded Excalidraw drawing, and you can also sort of embed it here. Now, this brings me to a point that right now is deliberately not supported. So here, if I click to add a document and I choose maybe Boston Box Excalidraw, this one here, then this is an Excalidraw drawing that I can only import as an image. So this is now imported as an image. I will eventually come to a point where you can embed an Excalidraw drawing in a similar way within Obsidian. Right now there were some minor issues, and I decided that for now I would rather release this set of features to you instead of trying to work out all the nitty-gritty details of every single piece of functionality. So, and then when you have everything here, or you've moved your items in here, of course everything that works in Excalidraw still works here. So I can connect these items with one another, maybe like this. I can add a curved line, I can add a relationship. Now this text is a bit small and I probably mistyped relationship, but anyway, you can see that you can connect items. You can also add various components around these. So I can add this box, for example, here, and I can also simply add additional text and so on. So this now of course the spelling is not great, as I'm just trying to do all of this here on the fly, but you get the idea. So you have a full-featured Excalidraw canvas plus all of these embedded active elements. Now there is a bit of special feature of these frames, and the special feature is that here I have additional text that is covered by this frame. Even if I bring additional text to the front, the frames are always going to be on the top, so that is currently a limitation. Also, if I embed this whole thing into a document, so let me just create a new empty document right here, and let me just drag this in here and embed it like this. You will see that everything is embedded with a, let me just make this larger. I'm going to make this big like this. So you will see that all of these items were imported, but we only have placeholders. For most of the things, this is going to stay as is. For some of the items like videos, for example, I hope to be able to add a preview later on, but again, this is something on the roadmap, does not work for now. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. I hope you're as excited about all of this as I am. I think this is really mind-blowing and opens so many opportunities for Excalidraw and Obsidian. This is a minimum viable product release. I think it works stable, it does the job, but there are a number of rough edges. Some things don't always work as intended, so I ask for your patience. If you find something, check GitHub. If no one has reported it, please report it. I'll try to refine this solution over the next couple of weeks. But I thought that I've been working on this for the better part of the last month, and I thought that instead of continuing to work in the background on this, I would release it, let you use it, and continue to work based on your feedback. So enjoy, and let me know how it all works out. I'd be very interested to hear the type of solutions that you can create with this. If you create a YouTube video, or if you post on Twitter, or you post in Discord, or you share in the comments below, I'd love to see what you do with Excalidraw Obsidian using these integration features. Thank you.